Hey everyone, welcome back to the studio. If you guys had to volunteer for tribute, would you show up the day of? Is my question. Volunteering for tribute.
No,
If you
you.
had to
I mean,
volunteer,
If you had to volunteer, or would you off yourself before the tournament? Because
I
you
feel
know
like I would. I
they
feel like I'd
torture
at
you.
least try to escape.
Escape into the wilderness.
Yeah,
Well,
into the woods.
yeah,
yeah.
we're not gonna be
Wrong
looking
movie.
at a very fun musical. What we are going to be looking at is the new trailer number 2 for
Yes,
The Hunger Games, Songbird, a ballad of
a ballad of
songbirds and
songbird.
snakes. We're gonna watch the trailer for it. We're gonna give our thoughts.
Yeah.
We're gonna react to it. Give our thoughts at the end. So stick around. Let's enjoy this together. Here we go. We're live.
Mr. Snow, after everything you've seen out there in the world, what are the Hunger Games for?
Are you
Mm.
coming to the tree?
The Hunger Games. They're to punish the districts. Those tributes don't have a choice.
Your role is to turn these children into spectacles, not survivors.
I'm really looking forward to Peter Dinklage.
We're live.
Smile. It's why we have teeth.
Imagine it was your name that they pulled.
Strange things do happen here.
I just want to know that somebody still cared about me, that I was still of value.
Welcome to the Capitol.
You look like you shouldn't be here.
I shouldn't, but I'm your mentor.
A rebel.
I am gonna get you out of here.
If you want to protect people, then it's essential to accept what human beings are and what it takes to control them. Let's see you use that famous snow charm.
He'd be charming though.
You seem like
You'd
a
be
good man
charming.
for me to snow.
I have seen what war does to people.
Fueled with the terror of becoming prey. See how quickly we become predator? I want my enemies to see a rainbow of destruction engulfing the world.
You're monsters! All of you! Good luck with that poor little songbird.
Where is she?
It's a mystery. And mysteries have a way of driving people mad.
Hey,
Mr. Snow, let me ask you one final time. What are the Hunger Games for?
looks like to punish the districts is the wrong
It's the
answer.
things we love most that destroy us.
Hey,
That was cool.
I like
Yeah.
that's a good ending.
Yeah.
That was a great
Little
ending.
callback to older
Mhm.
Mr. Snow.
Yeah.
I got a couple things, and I know I've already kind of voiced one of these opinions, but I kind of want to bring it up again because I'm
Because
just
you like
frustrated.
repeating yourself.
Yeah, yeah. No, I feel like Peter Dinklage character is going to be a fantastic character, but it's going to be seeing this, it's going to probably be overshadowed by the who's
Viola
the
Davis.
actress? Yeah, Viola Davis. Her character, which is gonna kind of be, I'm not a fan. I have not read the book, so I don't know who she's playing actually. But of what I'm seeing, it just seems like what's the point of her character?
Well, hold on.
Main antagonist.
Yeah, main
Primary.
antagonist.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, the root of evil, maybe the one
Mm.
that turns Snow into evilness, right?
Could
Or
be.
gives him a cause which ultimately allows him to do evil things, like a
Mhm.
purpose. Now, I
Yeah.
will say, look, from this, maybe not so much the first trailer, but from this, say what you will about Viola's past roles.
Mm-hmm.
Say what you will about her
Yeah.
politics. Say what you will about what she says in the public.
Yeah.
She's a very interesting presence on screen in this trailer.
Mm-hmm.
I can't deny
Maybe.
it. She
Maybe.
Yeah, well, even regardless, I think regardless of what the character is going to be, she's in the trailer at least asking the questions that you want to be posed to your main character of,
Yeah.
what is this? What are we doing? What are you doing? Stuff like that. Stuff that is going to motivate his character
yes.
throughout the movie.
Now that's really for me comforting to hear because
Mhm.
we're getting so much shallow storytelling that even from just the
Yeah.
trailer, I feel like this is going to be emotionally and characterly developed deeply.
Mhm.
I guess.
Yeah.
It just doesn't feel like we're surface level here. It feels like we're dealing with some pretty high concepts.
Also, interesting. They're focusing a lot more on Snow than I thought
That's
they
what the
would.
book is pretty much about.
Yeah.
And I know the book was about Snow, but when they released the cast list, I thought it feels like, kind of what they do in Hollywood with subvert who you think it's going to be, and it's actually going to be the girl from wherever.
Mhm.
And she's, a big part of the trailer, but she's not the main part of the trailer. It's Snow. He's the motivation.
Yeah.
Because he's, ultimately, like at the end of the trailer, he's the one in the original Hunger Games.
Yeah.
He's the one asking the questions.
Yeah.
He knows what he wants.
Mhm. Now, I'll to respond to that. Out of every show, book into movie, or book into series that I've ever seen in Hollywood, The Hunger Games was the closest to source material I've ever seen.
Yeah,
Like,
they did a
They
Was
did
it-
not stray hardly at all from the books with the movie, so it makes sense this is probably very similar to the books.
Wasn't it wrote in like almost, I don't know if I'm saying this right, but like a
Written?
third person from Katniss' perspective of like what she was thinking and stuff
First
like
person.
that.
First
First
person,
person, yes.
right? That's the correct
Probably.
term.
I think
It
it
was. No, it was. It was inside
Yeah.
of Katniss's head the whole
I
time.
never remember those. When I remember reading the book, I always remember it being in like third person, even if it is in first person.
It's in first person of Katniss Everdeen the whole time. So it gets a bit weird at times because when you hear her processing in her head, kissing
Mhm.
Peeta or kissing Gale. Is that
Mhm.
that's the
Yeah, that's the other
guy?
one.
So all of the physical altercations that she's had, or all the physical moments she's had with multiple dudes, they've all been heavily descripted from inside of what Katniss is.
Well, it's a YA. They're
Mhm.
YA novels. They're for
Yes.
young people.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
young people are emotional and want to hear
and
that.
curious, like, what does a kiss feel like?
So you got
Now-
to describe it.
right, for the kids so they can get hot and dirty.
Mm.
Now,
Ew.
I will say the cinematography for this feels different than Hunger Games. Everything's extremely
Yeah.
wide, and a lot of
It does
low
feel wide and
angles.
big.
It's I'm seeing this more and more. We saw it, and I'm seeing it from cinematographers that haven't necessarily shot this way before. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So, like, I wish I could remember his name, but the very famous cinematographer who did Birdman and The Revenant, he was known for that wide angle, continuous shot kind of cinematography,
Yeah.
Yeah.
or really long shots. Whereas with these new films like Peter Pan and Wendy that just came out, that wasn't the same cinematographer, but they shot very wide angles with that. Same with
Yeah.
this, we're seeing very wide angles, and so it presents a different vibe. I'm curious as to what's the creative choice there, because I don't think that should just be your go-to because because people are doing it. It's a very specific choice that I feel like needs motivated. And I will say not all cinematographers are super good at utilizing that wide space. And so I don't know. I guess I'm a little. I'm not. I don't think it's going to look bad. I just think it might look a bit generic when they're trying to do something that's really artistic. You know what I mean?
Well, I think what they want is to be able to show everything, show the cities, show the landscapes, show all of that.
Yeah.
But I think some of the the what people like about the first movie and the first book is because you're seeing it from Katniss's
Katniss's
Yeah.
point of view.
Katniss's perspective. She's kind of always in a shuttle, and then in a building, and then in an elevator,
Yeah.
and
there's
in
always
a
this
dining room, right? And the
Right.
first movie, because the budget wasn't so big, we were always we were in the forest, in the train,
shaky
in the
cam.
shuttle, in the in the building, because we couldn't show too much of the city because we didn't have the visual stuff for that. It's too
and
futuristic.
the camera was shaky, like handheld
Yeah.
stuff on the first
And then
movie.
and then the second movie, it's much better. The ships are much more spaceshipy, and the
Yep.
third one and fourth, they get progressively more, wide angle.
It makes
kind of
it
shots.
it's night and day between the first and
Mhm.
second movie, and I'm not talking about Tom Cruise and
Cameron Diaz.
Cameron Diaz. I am talking about the Hunger Games. But it is night and day. Like the first one feels like an indie film, and the second one feels like a Hollywood film.
Yeah, and you could almost like attribute it if you're thinking about it like it's her perspective, and then once she's been through it, her like how she views the world has broadened.
Yeah.
But
really, they got a bigger budget.
yeah, bigger.
I remember when the first one came out, there was kind of a lot of controversy around it and being like, oh, it's about this game that kids kill each other. Do you
Mhm.
remember any of that? Like,
I feel like, yeah.
people were talking about it, and it was kind of controversial. And then till it got more popular, and people were really into
this
it.
is what the parents, and I know our parents kind of had the same point of view. You tell parents Hollywood's coming out with a movie that's a gladiator movie, but it's with children,
Mhm.
right? That's evil,
Mhm.
all right? And yes,
Yeah.
that's an evil concept. What they didn't put into perspective is that is literally the crux of the evil for the story for them to get out
Yeah.
of that. So it's like
Right.
good is trying to escape this evil regime, and that's the nature of the story. And it's about a rebellion. It's Star Wars, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's literally them trying to escape the evil. It's not just like we just do evil things here, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like
Yeah.
we just are a part of this. So
I have a question that I think is pertinent at this stage. Do you
Okay.
guys think because between the last trailer and now, I think Rachel Zegler has gotten some bad press.
a
Do you
lot.
think
Yeah.
you think that is going to hinder the box office for this? So do you think it's going to hinder people's perception of this movie seeing her face in it?
Yes.
No, because I don't think as much as you think, though. It's still Hunger Games, and Hunger Games is very popular.
Yeah.
And so, no. If
Okay.
But
they were going to
she's
do
getting
multiple films,
she's getting really bad press right on the heels of this release, though.
yeah.
It's not like we're gonna
Well, if
have
they were-
months to heal.
Well,
I do think they will limit her press for this movie. They'll be like,
Well, she
nope,
can't
you
do
ain't,
any
you ain't
press.
doing an interview.
I think
Strike is still happening.
No, that is true,
I
true.
think they potentially limited her screen time in this trailer. She didn't have too many lines. She
Right.
wasn't on screen as much as Snow. I think they wanted to really put his face forward in this, at least for this trailer. I don't know about the next one. I think it's going to hurt the movie for movie fans, people who are a little bit more plugged into what's going on in Hollywood and what's going on in movie news.
Well, even
But for
me,
the
I was-
general population, I don't know that it's going to be as detrimental. for
you're
them.
right. For the general population, no. Like the casual fans of the Hunger Games, no.
Mhm.
But like even with me, I was watching this trailer and I'm like, you know what I mean?
Every time
I
you
got-
you
yeah.
saw her face,
It's not like a hater, but I'm just kind of like, you ruining Snow White, bad opinionated person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, just your opinions suck. That's what I was thinking. and
Mhm.
and you should have kept your mouth closed. That's what I'm thinking when I see her on screen. So yes, from a gut reaction, people that are aware, which that flashback, was a lot bigger than even we probably realize how many
Yeah.
people saw those clips. I don't know. I think I don't know that it's going to hurt financially, but it is
Mhm.
going to hurt the emotional. There is an aspect of it like that's going to be a problem, and it's not going to keep people from not watching it, but it's definitely not going to make people excited to see her on screen. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Whereas if she
Yeah.
just went from like West Side Story, pretty much unknown, to
Yeah.
this, where we don't really know
Mhm.
anything about her or her politics or her opinions, and she's just a pretty actress, then yeah, we're fine. No sweat, no problem. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But
No
now we
sweat.
know all this about her, and she's still early in her career, and we're just kind of like, you know, it's kind
Yeah.
of like, I don't know.
I mean,
Well,
even like she there was no bad press around her or for Shazam. She didn't really have like anything for Shazam. It seems like
Yeah.
I know it was probably a small role. I
Shazam didn't
watch
really
the
have
movie, but-
anything, if we're being honest.
Yeah.
well, tell us what you guys think if she's if you're opting out of this movie because of Rachel Zegler or because of any other reason. Tell us what you think of this prequel in general. And
And if they're going to opt in for potentially Slim Shady looking Jon Snow.
yeah, there you go. Because I mean, he's not bad, not too bad.
He does a buzz cut
Either-
halfway through.
Yeah, at the end. So
Would the real Slim Shady please stand up?
Right.
tell
Right.
us
He'd be
what you
standing
guys
up.
think. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. We'll see you in the next one.